The Oklahoma City Thunder, our NBA champs, and broke foot slightly, is back to talk about that, the Mavs, and more on today's Locked On Mavs.
Stop it! Stop! The number one pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I'm gonna get a city like that.
You are Locked On the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Isaac. I'm one of your co-hosts covering the Mavs for the last 10 years alongside my good friend Nick. Man, that was great. Slow fade there on that music. By me. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. And guys, Slightly's back. Slightly, what? You have a cast.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have signed the cast?
Just one so far.
Okay, just one. Has your cat signed it?
No, but he's taking care of me. I'm in good hands.
If you didn't know, Slightly literally broke his leg.
Broke my ankle. Ankle, to be fair.
Okay, ankle. Broke his ankle playing basketball. Dude, you posted some pictures and it was like, that's pretty nasty, the x-rays of it. So.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, here it is.
Oh, look at here.
That's what my ankle looks like now. I've got screws, a plate in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, Slightly's going to get buzzed at every metal detector in every airport moving forward.
Speaking of airport, I was supposed to land in London this morning.
All right, that's sad.
That is sad.
All right, we're here. We're going to talk about this finals. OKC wins the finals. They beat Indiana. They're champs. SGA, finals MVP. Is this game 7, is this known for the Halliburton injury, or is it known for OKC's dominance?
Definitely the Halliburton injury. I mean, I guess I forgot the exact number. Was it like 11 game 7s of it in the NBA finals in history? Somebody told me that all of them were decided by 5 points or less until tonight. So it wasn't a great game, and I don't know how, Halliburton gets hurt that early, how that's not the story. It's at least right now, especially considering he hit 3 threes early on. Like if he had a really slow start and it just looked like Halliburton was playing on one leg and they were targeting him, hunting him, and then he got hurt, and then you could maybe make this like, well, maybe it was better for them that Halliburton wasn't out there with his injury. But yeah, that's the story right now, especially considering I don't think the Thunder were that dominant. Honestly, I really don't. I leave the series feeling differently about them, which is crazy to say because they just won the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed at ESPN. They kept on showing the slow-mo of the pop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, clear and obvious immediately what it was.
Yeah, it was just like, it's like, please stop showing this. Okay, so all the talk, it felt like post-title stuff was like, man, this is the first of possibly many. They're going to run their West. If we look at it from a Mavs angle, are you like pro teams building to beat certain teams? Because we seen this way back in the day with the Mavs whenever they went out and handed a bunch of money to Eric Dampier because the Shaq was in the West and all this stuff. If you're pro building to beat like an OKC that this team's going to be here for years to come, how do you do if you are pro that? How do you do that to beat an OKC team?
Well, you got to have size first and foremost, like real legitimate size. You have to have, I think, a stable of ball handlers that are careful with the ball, that can create advantages for themselves. And I think you also have to have knockdown shooting. Like, I really think you have to build a very, very good basketball team to beat this. And Indiana kind of checked a good amount of those boxes and why they gave them some problems because, they don't have a ton of size. Indiana doesn't. But they do have, like, positional size. I mean, Siakam gave the Thunder some problems because he's this big physical four. Now that's like a problem for the Thunder. That's been a problem for them. And they have a bunch of guys who take care of the ball really well. So it's tough to build a team to beat like this. I know you said that we always talk about this team's going to win. Like we always talk about this team's going to win for the next 2 to 3 years after championship. I genuinely do believe that for this Thunder's team, 110%. I think this is the worst they'll be for the next 3 years. I don't, unless there's catastrophic injury, which could happen to anybody.
Yeah. I know. I thought it was kind of funny when Lisa Salters was like hyping up the duo of SGA and Jada. I'm like, is Chet just off to the side, just like, well, I thought this was a big three, guys. But for Dallas, when I watch a series like this, or watch the playoffs, but in particular these finals, I just can't reinforce the thing over of like you have to have multiple ball handlers, multiple creators and playmakers, to have a Halliburton and Nembhard on the floor at all times, to have a guy like Siak. Like, you got to have people. It sounds super dumb and super cliche, but like you got to have people that can dribble and more people on the floor that can dribble and pass. And that's where it's like, I've tweeted about it a few times and it never fails. I get some replies back and it's like, yeah, what about this, two bigs in Dallas? When you look at this like system that, they're committed to this double big thing. Like AD's going to play the 4 and we are committed. We have Lively, Gafford. If they, keep him, does the double big work like this? Does the double big, is that the way that, like, can you watch these finals and be like, yes, the double big lineups are the way to go?
I don't think there's ever like a specific way you have to play to win. Honestly, I think double big, yeah, there's definitely matchups where it could give you some problem. I think the number one thing you need as a team, and this will always be true, and it's like the one of the most hilarious storylines of the season to me was this weak link theory that popped up, and people are like, you're only as good as your weakest link now. Like, we're in the weak link era, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm reading this theory, and I'm like, this has literally been the NBA since the beginning of time.
Forever. It's
like, guys, actually, you need 5 good players on the floor at any given time is what this new era of the NBA is. And it's like, it's literally always been how it is. I really think having versatility on your roster is what will win you games now. Like, having a bunch of different answers to other teams' questions. Yeah, if you want to go big, we can play big. If you want to go small, we can play small. If we need to space the floor, we can space the floor. I mean, that's how what this Thunder team is. That's how this Thunder team is built. In some ways, it's how the Pacers are built as well, but it's how the Celtics were built last year. Like, they just had a bunch of different levers they could pull, and it's why teams like the Mavs last year, I would say in some ways, that are like very matchup dependent for how they are built, run into a team that they just do not have the answers for, like the Celtics last year.
Yeah, like, you can make the case too of like, hey, well, if you're so dominant, then it doesn't matter who you're playing against. Like, if AD and Lively are so dominant as a double big thing, then you say like, oh, well, OKC will have to adjust to that if we are out dominating them in that way. It does kind of worry me a little bit. And I'll ask you this at the very end, the third segment, of like the guard spot, that we have a lot of finishers on the roster right now. We have a lot of wings and bigs, and then seeing a finals like this, and it's like, all right, well, how many players do we have on the current roster that is healthy going into the season that are creators, playmakers, ball handlers? Are you worried at all or no?
Well, I mean, should I just rip this Band-Aid off right now? Like,
do it.
The Mavs winning the number 1 overall pick has fundamentally changed everything for me. Like, Cooper Flagg is the only thing that my number one care moving forward. It's Cooper Flagg, his development this year. I don't see a realistic pathway for the Mavs to build a legit championship team, like, by the end of next season. I have to be honest with you. And like, if Flagg is a top 50 player out the gate, top 50, top 60, top 70, that does change things. If AD's healthy, Kyrie comes back and is really good, that could be a really good competitive team, but you're banking on a lot of ifs, and I don't see like too many realistic pathways. Like, getting the number 1 overall pick changed the dynamic a little tiny bit, because yeah, if they had picked 11th or 12th, I could talk myself into a bunch of different like trades for some guys here and there, like established players that they maybe overpay for just because they feel desperate. But now, like, I want them to trade back in the first round, even if that means losing a rotation player. That's what I want them to do, because I just think it makes sense for your team moving forward with Cooper Flagg. So I just don't know what's out there realistically in terms of the guard market, at least right now. Maybe at the trade deadline, there's something else that's out there, but like, I'd rather them trade in the first round and take like a Walter Clayton and we go through the rookie bumps of Walter Clayton and Flagg together than go out and trade multiple picks for like a Kobe White, you know?
Yeah, the Bane thing got me a little worried, especially when I think it was our Locked On Bulls guys reported on what the Bulls turned down from Orlando for Kobe White, and it was like a couple first and Cole Anthony stuff, and I'm like, dang.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that that happened.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, it was. I think it was Cole Anthony, Jonathan Isaac, and 2 first, and I'm like, wow. I don't think.
And the Bulls said no.
I know, that's what they were kind of like roasting about it, and I'm like, man, I love Kobe White, but I'm not giving up 2 first and in additional like to pieces and stuff. I
always felt like Kobe White was a 2 first guy, which is why I never took him seriously as a player for the Mavs, just because it's like I think he's worth that. I'm not trying to poo-poo him, but like it doesn't make sense for the Mavs.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Let's talk about KD, this Durant trade, how it affects the Mavs, and more. This podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Olipop. Olipop is a new kind of soda made for people who love the classic taste of soda but want something that supports their health, even their digestive. How's your digestive health, Slightly?
I'm on pain meds, so do the math. Anyone who's been on pain meds knows.
Well, Olipop with, I don't know, I can't do like a plus meds thing. I'll probably get in trouble. With just 2 to 5 grams of sugar and 9 grams of prebiotic fiber in every can, Olipop is reimagining soda in a way that's better for your gut. Got some flavors and stuff at my house. I love the grape flavor, vintage cola. I'm not a big root beer guy, but I'm all about the grape and vintage cola right now. To get your own Olipop, you can get a free can of Olipop. Just buy any 2 cans in stores. They're in so many stores now, like you can find them pretty much anywhere, and they'll reimburse you for 1. Head to drinkolipop.com/LockedOnNBA to claim your free can and find Olipop near you. That's drinkolipop.com/LockedOnNBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
You hear that music?
No.
Are you serious? Dang it. All right, never mind. Okay, let's talk about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant gets traded on the same day as Game 7 NBA Finals. I was at church, and then the whole thing starts going out on my phone. I'm like, everybody at church don't need anything from me right now. I need to see what happens, what this return looks like. It's Jalen Green. It is the number 10 overall pick in this coming draft. Dylan Brooks, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, a million seconds in that deal. First instant thoughts of the trade.
Well, I loved it for Houston. Really like it for him. I mean, this is like this weird era that I think we're entering with these these teams that have accumulated draft assets. I think whenever these teams originally did all that, the Thunder, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Jazz, the idea in a lot of people's brains was like, oh, they're going to trade for like the superstar in a few years. Like this is what they're saving all their picks for. But I think what we're seeing now and what's probably going to be the case is these teams are just going to strategically use these picks in an effort to build along the margins and then take advantage of, hey, De'Aaron Fox wants out of Sacramento. He only wants to go to San Antonio. It's not going to cost us that much. We still have a ton of first round picks left over. Let's go get him. It doesn't mean anything for us. Houston, Jalen Green has been out the rotation. Like it doesn't close games for us at time. We don't know who he's going to be. We're not that confident in him. 10th overall pick. We had the 3rd overall pick last year, and he didn't even play minutes for us. So we can't put another 10th overall pick guy in our rotation. So we could trade this for Kevin Durant. Like we're getting a borderline top 10 player for 60 cents on the dollar, and exactly what they need. So I love it for Houston. And I just think these teams with so many picks are just going to be able to constantly retool their roster without having to worry about anything. Cause like, there's other teams like the Mavs, these containing teams that have traded first round pick, like the Timberwolves, where trading a pick is hard. You know, like trading 1 first round pick is difficult, and it means you have nothing else to do. With a team like Houston, like they could trade the 10th overall pick, and it means next to nothing for them.
Yeah, when I first seen it, well, I thought something was kind of interesting was we saw the reports that he wanted to go to New York. New York was not interested. Then for the past few weeks, it was like, hey, San Antonio's his top team. And then you seen Gambo tweet today that San Antonio never made an offer. It's like, dang, he had 2 teams that he really wanted to go to, and they were like, no, we'll pass. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but yeah, I'm honestly with you with Houston. My best friend is from Houston, diehard Rockets fan. He calls me this afternoon. He's like, "Dude, you got it. What's your thoughts?" I'm like, "I actually love it for y'all. I want to roast you right now, but I actually love it." And I just think that's exactly what they needed. Like,
Yeah.
they just needed a guy who could get buckets at the end of these games. I think that they sacrificed some like regular season wins because the Jalen Greens of the world wins you some Tuesday nights against the Hornets.
Sure.
But I don't know if they'll finish like second in the West, but I could see them finishing like fourth or fifth, but have way better like championship odds in that.
Yeah.
And the fact that they kept like Amen, Tari, Jabari, Sengun, heck, even Reed Shepherd, however you feel about him. They kept all of these guys, and they still got some good picks and stuff too that they can, if they want to trade stuff later on. I thought it was a big win for Houston. For Phoenix, I feel like I'm in the minority a little bit, but I'm like, like for 37-year-old expiring contract, like I kind of didn't mind the like return. Like, Jalen Green's a weird fit, but I'm like, you got the 10th overall pick. I like this draft, and then you got two guys that, I mean, Jalen Green's at least a flyer type of dude. I don't know. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people, but I wasn't expecting a Desmond Bane 5 first back either. So I don't know.
No, I agree with you there. I said that today. I was like, this is about what I expected. You know, I was saying earlier in the week, I was like, the moment the Rockets offer 10, the Suns should just say yes, regardless of what else is in it, because you're not going to get anything else. You weren't getting Tua or Castle from the Spurs ever. No. And if like that's the thing too, is you have all these teams that have hoarded these picks, and it's like Minnesota, their offers, like they have to be strategic about this, because it's like if we do this in order for us to match contracts and trade our pick, like this is it. This is our move, right? So for like a team like the Rockets, like I was saying earlier, it just means nothing. Yeah, you probably got the 10th overall pick is not bad at all. Again, you were never getting anywhere near the return that you gave up for him. That was never in a million years happening. So 10 was always going to be the best thing they could have got, I think.
I love some of the reports after the Bane trade, though. It was like, if Bane got 5 first, what's KD getting? I'm like, not that. Like,
people always do this. It's just like, it's like, you don't, there's always context.
Yeah. No, one of my favorite, I saw a tweet today. It was like going all the way back to the KD trade. One of my favorite things people do is so basically this team gave up this for that. And I'm like, dude, we're almost like 3 years away from that. Like, so now it's like we gave, and I'm like, wow, this is weird stuff. But
it's always interesting to look at it like that, though. But yeah,
but it's like, where's the limit of like, where does it end?
Yeah, true.
Like, are you like 10 years and you're tracing it down? Like, I mean, even like some of the like Paul George stuff. I mean, it's fun to like joke about, but it's like, dude, is Indiana in the finals? Thanks, Paul George. So they turned Paul George into, and it's like, whoa.
Oh yeah. I've seen the Indiana one. That one is pushing it a little bit. It's like, they turned it's a bonus and it's a bonus into Halliburton.
Yeah. We turned Roy Hibbert into. So does this trade instantly like guarantee Houston over Dallas next year in standings?
Man, it's so hard to say without knowing what Dallas does.
Okay, let me say it this way. I kind of operated like this top 6. Of the top 6 in the West, every team's vying for one of those top 6 spots, 6 spots above the play-in tournament. Does this lock them into a top 6 spot?
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty shocked if they weren't in the top 6 next year, is what I would say. And then I guess without knowing what the Mavericks do right now, I think there's a world where the Mavs are a playing team. So I guess in that sense, I would feel better about the Rockets right now than the Mavs entering. But again, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the Mavs do at the guard spot, if they go get someone that could change the dynamic. So, I don't know.
How many teams, I know I'm putting you on the spot here. How many teams do you think are a lock for the top 6 right now?
Well, the Thunder for sure. I don't know. I'm not so sure. They were a little disappointing this series. So, the Thunder for sure. I would say the Rockets. And then beyond that, man, it's so hard because every year you want to say there's a lock, and then it's always inevitable that these teams just duke it out for months and months and months.
We've seen Luka take less to the playoffs, so I feel like Luka is almost like a guaranteed top 6 team.
You think? I'm not putting the Lakers in my guaranteed top 6. I think they'll probably do it, but I cannot guarantee that. They got to get it. They have to get a center. Like they cannot run out there without a center. And I'm sure they will. But then it's like
Christian Wood.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's probably a better option than anything else they have going on. Jackson Hayes is so bad. I will run victory laps in my head because I just remember that first couple weeks when people are like, Luka, like, Jackson Hayes looks like lively out there. I'm like, all right, you guys are really pushing. You guys are really overstepping a couple boundaries now.
He's turning Jackson Hayes into a star.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I mean, if they go and get like Claxton,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. Nuggets, it's hard for me to imagine them not making it. Timberwolves too.
Minnesota's like a question mark. I got to see what Reed, Randall, what do they do with that?
Right. I mean, they got 3 huge free agents.
Yeah. They bring 2 of those 3 guys back, then I'm like, all right, they're locked for 6.
And they're banking on Rob Dillingham unless they make a trade. Like, they're really banking on him because I can't imagine Mike Conley has anywhere near the role he had last year.
Dillingham's so small, dude. His
I
size
know.
out there just kills me. But, I mean, I feel like we're probably in agreement that Suns definitely went back for now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't take the Suns seriously whatsoever.
Okay.
Ever since Ishbia got there, and I never will.
Ever since this week.
He's been terrible.
We'll see what they do over the coming weeks, but I do like that 10th pick. I think they'll get a good player at 10.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back, talk about guards and other things. Guys, we got a draft coming up in just a few days.
So excited.
This podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Monarch Money. You ever check that bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Do you ever ask that?
Yes.
All the time, especially after surgery. Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. You can't lose track of that cast.
No.
That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. Whoa, big time words there. Guys, I would love to have something like this. It would, losing money out of the bank account just adds up for me at the end of the week. I'm like, I spent this amount of money on this crap? Dang. This is where Monarch Money comes in. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Try again. Hear that music?
There. Yep.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! All
The
right.
Cooper Flagg era.
That's all I care about now. What's going to happen?
Wait, hold on. I haven't talked to you. How excited are you about Cooper Flagg?
Oh, bro, so dang excited. I mean, I went back and found this tweet because I actually watched Duke a good amount this past year. I hate Duke, the institution, or whatever we want to call them, but they had such a good team and such a fun team to watch with Khan and Malawach, and Tyrese Proctor was fun. Sion Jet, like, it was just a fun team to watch. And I found this tweet back like months ago where I was like, Cooper Flagg is literally one of the best college players I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And when they obviously win the number 1 pick, I just couldn't believe it. And just to get a guy like that he's just going to impact everything. I said this the other day. I was doing the whole, like, people's inevitably going to compare him to Luka, but like he's going to captivate the fan base, I think, just as much as Luka, but in a different way. Like, he's not going to do the step back 3, go down the court and do the air guitar, but he's going to captivate the fan base with the poster dunks, the high flying blocks, the diving across the floor, the endless energy. And I mean, he is just going to be beloved by fans. And I'm just so excited. And he's, 6'9". I think he's so dang good.
Yeah, I've been like really holding it in. I don't watch college basketball during the season, but then I like watch highlights and stuff like that. But I've been going back and watching, full Duke games, and they have like the YouTube clips where it's like every Cooper Flagg possession, like make or miss, and you just watch, and it's just like he is just everything you want in a basketball player in 2025. I mean, everything, like the motor, and that's the thing. You made a great point. Fans are gonna love how hard this guy plays.
Yeah.
24. I mean, the motor is unbelievable. You will never question anything Cooper Flagg does on the court from an effort perspective. And that's I cannot wait to see him play in a Mavs jersey.
I know. And one of my favorite things about his college stuff was just how much he impacted shots in the paint. He has such good timing on shots and contesting shots. Like sometimes you have like bigs or guys who go for the block that it's like, all right, cool, I know what you're going for, but your timing is so off, it really just hurts the team because then you're out of position. He just impacts so much around the paint that having him next to a guy, I mean, like AD and Lively,
Yeah.
but let's just say AD is like down with an injury or something, it's like him and Lively in there, like having that much size and that much defensive presence in the paint, like it's just that part is really exciting.
Yeah, and I've been watching, like, the offense stuff is what's really been the playmaking, the passing out of doubles, the skip passes. Those are the live dribble passes. Those are the ones where I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, they ran pick and roll with him as a primary ball handler a good amount at Duke.
Almost like 300 times I saw.
Yeah, and really good at it. Shocking.
Yeah.
So no, I'm super excited for it. I mean, Wednesday's going to be a special night for Mavs fans, and I asked the question the other day. I was like, I wonder how much Cooper is going to be. How much is Cooper willing to help the Mavs shift this like image right now? Because the Mavs are going to want to soak this for everything possible because they need Cooper Flagg to help take them more positive light. And I wonder how much he's willing. I mean, is he willing to visit a hospital on Thursday or go to, just like do everything possible because he's going to have that type of impact in Dallas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This will be a hardcore marketing push. I saw the shirts, the 1.8 shirts.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart. That's clever. I like that.
It's cool. The Flag Day shirts was cool on his part, but $75.
Yeah, $75, man. I thought I was looking at the wrong thing.
And I'm like, did you like poll people in like Highland Park or like?
I'm like, do I have international shipping checked on this? Like,
hoodies like $155.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What happens at the guard spot for Dallas? What do you think's the most likelihood?
They'll bring in like a Chris Paul or something like that would be my guess. I am getting very concerned about the Jrue Holiday stuff. Very, very concerned.
Yeah.
That to me, I tweeted out like a few weeks ago, I just cannot shake the sinking feeling that Jrue Holiday will be a Mavs. Like I close my eyes and see it 100%. But how the Mavs get there is just so concerning too. There's pathways for that trade to kind of make some sense to me, especially if the Mavs are getting assets back.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, again, I've shifted my focus to a Cooper Flagg centric thing where it's like, okay, now we have picks moving forward. Like I like that. But if it's I can't, like if Gafford and PJ are in the trade and you're not getting, that's where I'm just like, I don't get what you just did.
I'm not giving up PJ in a Jrue Holiday trade. I'm
No,
sorry.
me either.
CBA Mavs had a trade the other day that made me think. And it was like moving parts going to Brooklyn and Atlanta's trade exception. Dallas was getting Jrue and a couple first. And I was like, all right, this makes me think about it. You're getting the first there. You're getting your late first to get a Walter Clayton type of guy. But it's too much money for the age. It felt like he was just a slight like down. I don't want to say downgrade last year. However say it, like it just wasn't normal Jrue last year.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. Sorry. No. I thought you were, I was reading the tweet. I pulled up the trade you're talking about. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. If this were 2 or 3 years ago, I would be like, yes, this is a perfect fit. This is a match made in heaven. Like this is go do it, right? But yeah, like you said, he looks a step slow, And also one of the things about Jrue is like he's perfect as the second or third, fourth guy. Like Jrue will be having main point guard duties. It's just not really where I want Jrue Holiday to be at his ripe old age,
Yeah.
So it's like, I just don't even now where it does really make sense is it's like, yeah, it might be a little bit rough to stopgap, but Jrue and Kyrie on the floor together. Okay. That's pretty good. Like that is because that's one of the things about the guard for me where it's like, if you're going to pay up for a guard, not just like bring one in for $5 million or whatever. I want someone who I could see on the court next to Kyrie as well. I don't want to be trading multiple picks for, I don't want to give up anything of value for a Cole Anthony. Like I just don't want to. It makes no sense to me at all. It's not a fit that makes sense. I don't want to give up a ton of stuff for Anthony Simons even, because it's just like, what happens when
I forgot all about him.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. Like, I do like him as a player, but I mean, he's gonna be on the bench in closing minutes when Kyrie's back. And do I want to give up picks for that? No. So the trade Isaac was talking about, I pulled up. Boston sends Jrue to Dallas. Boston sends 28th and the 32nd overall pick to Dallas and seconds to Brooklyn. And the Mavs send Caleb Martin to Boston, Jaden Hardy to Brooklyn, and Daniel Gafford to Atlanta. And then Atlanta sends the 22nd overall pick to Dallas. So Dallas is getting 2 firsts in this year's draft.
Yeah, so it's basically like Gafford, Martin, and Hardy for Jrue, and you get some picks attached to it.
I would do that.
You just talked yourself into it.
Well, no, because one of the mock trades I've been doing, and I'm like, this makes so much sense to me, is Gafford for 22nd. Because Atlanta has a trade exception. The Mavs can create a ton of flexibility for their non-taxpayer mid-level, or their taxpayer mid-level. I'm sorry, they can't get the non-taxpayer mid-level. Taxpayer mid-level, and then you can get a 22nd overall pick in this. That makes so much sense to me, because I do feel like Gafford's the odd man out. It sucks, but I think you have to be proactive with these things in the modern NBA, and it's just the way it has to be. Like, it's not, I wouldn't want it to happen. If Gafford wants to stay here for $12 million, then by all means, like, yes, let's sign the contract tomorrow. But that's not fair to him, because he's worth way more than that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on it. And that's why, yeah, it feels like he's the odd man out. And it's not that I dislike him. It's just
Right. I have to preface that because people feel like it's not that at all. I would love for Gafford to stay on the team, because I am worried about AD and Lively's health. Like, I would love it, but he's going to want more money, and he deserves more money because he's that good. Yeah, I think he's a league average starting center, which probably means you're making $20+ million a year. And that just that makes no sense for the Mavericks at this stage. It makes none. So you got to try and maximize these guys and try to be proactive and at least extract some value out of it.
Yeah, so Dallas has to shed some money at some point, especially when they got Cooper Flagg, that number 1 pick. There's a salary attached with that number 1 pick that's higher than what they were expecting with that 11th overall pick. So they got to shed some money somehow, whether it's a trade like Slightly just said, a Gafford for the 22nd pick, or they go to Kyrie this offseason. It's like, hey, we take a little bit less. We take less to get us under this number in that first year of your deal. That's the route. If I had to guess, my guess right now is they keep Gafford and PJ. Kyrie's deal that first year comes a little shorter than what the other years on that deal is, to get them under. That's how they save their money. And then they try to ship out the Omax Hardy combo to get some type of guard out there. Or by doing that, getting under that number with this Kyrie sacrifice of money, you open up an exception to try to bring in another guard like that. And they run it back with like an Exum on the minimum, Brandon Williams, and whatever guard that's not as good as like a Kobe White or something. Whatever guard comes in at that like middle level there. That's my guess. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, if I had just had to bet on it, I would say like it's a lot smaller than anyone thinks, is what I would say.
Yeah.
It'll probably be, I mean, I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie's at the equation. It's just we're running it back almost.
I mean, I was going to say that's what she said, but
I forgot what I said, but oh wait, I know what I said. Yeah, that's true. That is what she said. But I want them to trade into the first again so bad. Like, that's my number 1 hope and dream right now. Walter Clayton, Traore, like, get one of these guys.
One of these dudes is going to fall into the late teens, early 20s there, whether it's a Jace Richardson because he's so small.
Are you in on him?
At pick 22, I'm in on him.
Okay.
I was never in on him as far as like pick 11.
Right.
6 foot, and I just wasn't in on that. But at 22, sure, sign me up. If Traore falls some, I'm a huge Dimon fan. But
I'm so out on him.
I like him a lot, yeah. But I think he goes in like the top 12.
He just scares me because it's like I was saying this earlier. I'm trying to do this. I don't know anything about prospects. You probably watch way more about these guys. But if your like main skill isn't a super reliable skill that I can bring to the NBA, and I know I can get something out of it every time. But your skill has to be created by the things like Dimmons' passing. But like he's not a good one-on-one creator. He's not a great athlete. Like he's not a knockdown shooter right now. So you just have so many ifs that have like so many things have to happen for me to even maximize your passing. That's what scares me for a guy like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I could look like an idiot because his passing is incredible.
It is, yeah. I just love the size of the point guard spot. I just
Yeah,
love
and
his
he's
feel
huge.
for the game. But yeah, so it's like did one of those guards fall? Is there
Or
a
a wing. I think if they trade in the first, a wing could be on the table too.
there's a lot of wings out there in the bottom. I mean, Rasheer Fleming, I'm a big fan of him.
I haven't looked at him yet.
I don't know how far or how high it goes up in the draft, but I'm with you though. I hope that they trade in to the first round somehow and add another young guy to this team.
Yeah, I would love that.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Nick's back tomorrow, and we're just a couple days away from the draft. And slightly heal up, man.
I'm trying.
I hate everything for you right now of having the cast. And you got a scooter right now?
Yeah, I've been scooting around.
Let's go.
I'm not using crutches. Tell you that much.
Dude, that other calf muscle is going to be so much bigger than.
I know, and I already have tree trunk legs.
Just call you OG Anunoby right now.
Yep.
All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Peace out.
Peace. Cooper Flagg, let's go, baby.
Cooper! So ready.